How heavy is water? I had a bump on my face. It was nestled deep within my beard. My jawline throbbed when I ran my fingers over it. Ah, I said, an ingrown hair. I pressed it with my forefinger. I felt a wriggling, some thin and powerful something pushing back. I pressed harder. It emerged. It was a hair, all right. Brown, thick, and coarse, just like the rest of the strands that had pushed their way through the skin of my face. I pulled on it. I expected pain. There was no pain. I continued to pull. Out it came, longer and longer. Soon it was all the way down to my ankles. I continued pulling until I could no longer. It must have been a half-mile long. I went into my parents' garage. I love the smell of a garage. Leaning against the wall was my grandfather's deep-sea fishing rod. With a yank, I removed the hair from my face, my eyes watering sweet tears of rice wine vinegar. I sat on a stump which my father had driven an axe into. For 2 hours I wound the hair around the reel. Then I fed it through the eyelets and up the rod. I tore off one of my toenails and fashioned it into a hook. I attached this hook to the hair, which I had fed, along the rod. I rode my bike to the river. I reached into my pocket and removed the knife I always keep there. I cut off my tongue. Still wriggling, I stuck it to the toenail hook. I leaned back and launched the line, casting it hundreds of feet deep into the river. There was a tug, then another, then a pull. The rod was almost torn from my hands. I fought back with all my might. Up from the waves emerged a tuna. It was the largest tuna I'd ever seen. Must be one of them river tunas, I said. I dragged it ashore, my beard-forged line remaining strong. Once it was there, I unscrewed my foot from my body and beat the tuna on its head until it stopped wiggling and its face had turned to putty. I dug my hands into the fish's lifeless body and feasted on the sweet, tender flesh. Then I farted 3 times and flew to the moon, where I fell asleep under the shade of a transplanted weeping willow. I was awoken by a man who told me he had invented algebra. He granted me 3 wishes. I wished I could see things with the eyes of a child. I wished that I had been born a happy man rather than a smart one. And I wished I wasn't stuck on the moon. He gave me a ride home, where I had the best sleep of my life. All of this really happened, I swear. Or maybe I'm just thinking of a dream I had.